How's it going, everybody? It is your favorite apostates. My name is McKay.
And I'm Jordan.
And happy Monday to you, or happy Hallmark holiday of love and friendship. Please buy our cards day to all of you, if that's the kind of thing that you celebrate. Either way, we are back. How's it going? I hope you're doing well. How are you, Jordan?
I am here.
I never ask about Jordan. I feel bad, so I'm going to start doing that more often. Jordan is here, present.
It's not an answer that anybody wants to hear, so we'll just move along.
There you go. This is going to be a bittersweet episode because we will be saying goodbye to the current mic setup that we have, and hopefully by the time, if you're watching this premiere at the time that we set it to premiere, hopefully we have a box in our hands with our new audio equipment. That is thanks to all our beautiful patrons, all our beautiful viewers, and all the beautiful people who thought that we were worthy of a donation to upgrade our equipment and further along our progress in our channel. So thank you. I can't say it enough. I mention it every time. What's up?
When you used to watch PBS as a kid.
Oh, for viewers like you.
For viewers like you. And I was always like
Thanks
me.
Thanks to viewers like you.
I didn't do anything, but anyway.
Yeah. So everybody is awesome, and we love you all. You're just amazing to us. Jordan, I'm going to turn the time over to Jordan.
Okay. McKay and I have been thinking about additional ways that we can offer our gratitude, display our gratitude to you, especially those lovely humans of you that are our patrons and support us financially. We wanted to kind of add some additional perks since we've been getting quite a few more of you lately. So we have decided that we are going to start creating some monthly, at least once a month, content that isn't able to be monetized due to copyright issues. And so they won't be posted publicly to YouTube for that reason. But if you are part of our Patreon, if you become one of our patrons at any tier, even the bottom tier, middle tier, top tier, any of the tiers, you'll be able to watch this bonus content that is on Patreon. So if you would like to be a part of that, and we already have a video in mind.
Yeah. Should we let them in on it?
So we will be reacting to, well, you'll get to see the whole beautiful thing, and we'll just sit small in the corner and talk about things. But we're going to react to Tyler Glenn, the lead singer of Neon Trees. He wrote an entire album called Excommunication about his excommunication from the Mormon church. If you didn't know, he's Mormon, lead singer of Neon Trees. And so
former Mormon,
used to be Mormon. And he made a whole album about it. And so there was a particular music video that we get asked about a lot. And it is a phenomenal symbolic representation of aspects of Mormonism, like the handshake, symbols, Joseph Smith, all those fun things. And so we figured we would react to that and share it with you guys. So
there you go. A lot of people have been asking about a lot of media that we can't normally put on our regular channel just for monetization reasons, and it kind of makes it a little hard to make it worth it. And we're really scrutinizing about sponsorship deals. That's why you've really never seen us do that. No, we've absolutely never done that.
No, we've never.
So yeah, we want to keep stuff like that kind of in a place where it will pay off for us to put in the effort to do, and also so we can avoid getting copyright strikes on our channel.
Yay.
So we can do things in a legal way. So if that's something that would interest you, join us on our Patreon. I'll plug it right now. But yeah,
the link is in the description box.
Link is in the description. If you're just listening, you can go to patreon.com/Jordan and McKay. Now we are going to move on to the main event, I guess. Today's topic, I figured since it is Valentine's Day, or the day of love and friendship, however you want to call it, we are going to do some more Mormon dating horror stories.
Yay!
Some horror stories, cringe stories. Jordan found a lot of these from the r/ex-Mormon subreddit. So we might be coming at it from a different angle than we have in the past, but we did sprinkle in some from the Instagram accounts that we've visited in the the past.
It's true. So we make fun of these stories because they're funny, but they are also deeply personal because we too are victims of Mormon dating.
Cringe. Honestly, yeah. Mormon dating culture, I think, is something that we're going to have to talk about more because, like, I went on a date, right? And we got smoothies from McDonald's. Nothing wrong with that, right? And then we went to a public... It's like a clubhouse, I don't know, for that little, for the apartment complex that this girl lived in. And we pushed 2 couches together and listened to music and made out. Like.
In the clubhouse?
Yeah. It was dark. But still, it was a public place, so that's pretty cringe.
It was dark.
Yeah.
That is bizarre.
And that was a date. So. Anyway, let's get on to some of these stories, and maybe I can take the spotlight of cringe off of me for a couple minutes.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Hold on to your butts.
Jordan picked these, and I have not seen them yet, so this is a 100% blind reaction to me.
So, here we go. Number 1. My husband, at the time a freshman at BYU, Mormon University, showed Ferris Bueller's Day Off to a very Molly Mormon girl on a first date. She was so appalled by the content that she put a blanket over her head and plugged her ears and cried.
I am trying... the gears are turning. I'm trying to decide what part of Ferris Bueller's Day Off was the most appalling.
I'm appalled by her response.
But yeah, plugging her ears.
Putting a blanket over your head.
Why would you
girl, just
leave?
go home.
Just dip.
Walk out. Ask him to take you home. There's no need to throw a toddler tantrum.
I know. This is... And I will admit, maybe this guy was kind of... I don't know. I don't know this person's husband, but... It does seem like a very weird reaction. But seriously, like, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I'm really trying to think of what's going on here. Maybe it's that part where Cameron gets saved and he goes, Ferris Bueller, you're my hero.
Is it PG-13?
I think so.
It's weird.
Yeah.
# Mormon culture.
Anyway, I'm thinking of 13 Candles. I don't know.
It's
whatever.
A good movie.
Yeah, that kind of piggybacks off. We've kind of talked about it in the past where Mormon prophet in the past has said, oh, don't watch rated R movies. And then they kind of take it a step further in a lot of rhetoric. It's not like an official rule that you shouldn't watch a PG-13 movie. But in a lot of cases, they're like, if it makes you feel uncomfortable, you should walk out. And it's kind of annoying. But yeah, they're really intense about this movie business. I don't know why Ferris Bueller's Day Off would be like that, but yeah. Pretty cringe.
Okay, so this one I screenshotted because I think it's funny. So we've talked about this in our last Mormon dating horror story video, but there is a Mormon dating app that's exclusive for Mormons. It's called Mutual. And I don't know who created it. I don't know if it originated in Utah. I'm sure it did. But it is a dating app solely for Mormons. You can join if you're not Mormon, but the majority of it...
There's a lot of stuff that is geared toward only Mormons, like, oh, when you, or where you served your mission, or like what other languages you speak and things like that.
Yeah, and what's your favorite temple, and, you know, all this bullshit. So it's very Mormon specific. So it also has the little bar down at the bottom, which I always thought was so funny, because I was on Mutual at one point.
Ooh.
And the bar on the bottom always bothered me because I was like... more on the relationship ready side of the spectrum, where like 90% of the boys that I went on dates with were like down for dates. And I'm like, no, you idiot. I'm ready to get married. I was like 19. It's fine. So
19-year-old feeling bad that she's not married.
Old maid. So I don't believe that anymore, by the way. So this is a profile on Mutual, and it looks kind of bizarre when you read the bio or the about me. It doesn't make any sense, right? Unless...
Wait a minute. Oh, I just saw this.
Now do you get it?
Now I got it.
What happened there?
Okay, we're going to have to revisit. I will break this down for you again. Okay, so we got in top to bottom order, never call me out, which I believe corresponds to non-committal makeout, otherwise known as a NICMO, that I have broken down in the past. That is the most cringe way that I've ever seen that. Why would you disguise that? Just come out and say it. So that's pretty cringe.
It's a chick too.
Also, if you move that meter any which way, that's kind of cringe too. I'm not gonna lie. Just leave it in the middle. Keep people guessing. I love an element of mystery.
Some surprise.
Some surprise in there. Okay, yeah. So that's from Provo Girls, am I right? Which kind of sounds a little misogynistic, but whatever.
It's the one that we talked about in our last video where it's solely about, like, you get Provo boys or Mormon boys that are down at BYU or BYUI or whatever. And if the girls are shitty, then they take screenshots of what they say and they post them to this account. So that's what the purpose of this account is.
That is completely ignoring the shittiness of whoever submitted this stuff.
It's true.
Anyway,
okay.
Next one.
Number 3. For my senior prom, my date asked me to come to her house 3 hours early, so her dad, who was also in the stake presidency,
red flag,
to interview me.
Ooh, double red flag.
I thought it was a little weird, but I figured he was going to casually get to know me. It turns out that he asked me about my testimony and how specific trials have strengthened my testimony. The cherry on top was when he said something like, "It sounds like you still have some unresolved problems. What ward are you in?"
Oh my God.
He did get to go out with the girl, though.
Well, okay, there's a number of problems with this. Namely, this guy did not have the authority as a priesthood leader to do something like that. So that's not good. Outside of that being completely inappropriate.
I was going to say, and awkward and stupid.
Yeah. So that's fun.
And then being like, you have some unresolved problems. See, this is the spirit of discernment thing that we've talked about before.
I'm going to call your bishop, and he's going to have a worthiness interview with you so you can repent properly. That's I'm covering my ass by sending you through the proper channels, but still doing the wrong thing by taking it upon himself to do that shit.
It's true.
Cringe. That's not good. This is like, I feel like it's a stake presidency kind of thing. It's also notable that her dad was in the stake presidency, not the stake president.
So remember, for non-Mormons, we have the bishop who's like the congregation leader of your little congregation or ward. And we have the person above him, which is the stake president, who has a little presidency who resides over the bishop. So they're like double power.
Yeah, he's like, that's like the step below getting any sort of stipend or salary when you're in the church. So anybody that's stake president or below that,
but your fingers are crossed, so you're gonna get there.
Yeah, if you've gotten that far, you're like, dude, I'm so close.
Like, I'm a shoo-in.
They don't discuss things like that, but there's very strong evidence to suggest otherwise. Let's go on to the next one. Are we numbering these ones? You said number 3 last time, but I don't remember.
I think number is 2. Number 4.
This is
did
number
I not?
4.
This might be number 3 or number 4. I don't know.
We're just off the handle over here.
We're really bad at counting. My wife and her high school person double dated with Ted Bundy and his date. Fun Mormon fact. She liked my little intro there.
Fun Mormon fact.
If you didn't know, Ted Bundy was baptized into the Mormon church. Fun fact. Ted Bundy, serial killer.
Moreover, when Ted Bundy was apprehended by police, people in his singles ward were like, not our
petitioning
Ted,
for him to be removed from jail because he couldn't have possibly murdered people.
Yes.
Fun fact.
This also brings me to another common Mormon thing, which is close encounters with Ted Bundy
Seriously,
here in
though.
Utah. Everybody knows somebody's mother-in-law's sister who almost went on a date with Ted Bundy.
Yep.
And
Or was supposed to go on a date with him and then felt sick and didn't go.
Right. They felt the spirit warn them and they ended up not going. It is like basically it's more common than soda shops in Utah. Honestly, you run into stories like that all the time. So
he lived in Utah for a hot minute. He lived in Salt Lake.
Yeah.
He actually, one of his victims was a sorority girl who her sorority was like 2 houses down from where I lived when I went to the U. That was a big deal. I was not there at the time, obviously, but they still make a big deal about it because she was a Chi Omega, I'm pretty sure.
Well, there was a girl abducted from a high school that managed to escape. That is literally, Jordan taught at an elementary school nearby.
It's true.
That high school.
Yep.
But am I saying this is not real? No, it is definitely plausible, but there's no way to know for sure. And it's a really common thing. So.
I mean, think about it, though, because Ted Bundy was in the young single adult ward, which is not families. It is just single men and women. And so for his purposes, it was the perfect opportunity.
Yeah.
Because he was this handsome, charismatic human that was a new convert. So in a lot of senses, he was really appealing in that way. So
that's true. That's true.
It's true. Maybe we'll have to do a Ted Bundy episode.
Anyway, we'll move on from that. We'll leave you at that.
Okay. My brother-in-law wouldn't go on solo dates when he got back from his mission. He wanted to do doubles, which is common. Or get this, he wanted a chaperone. He came back so mission broke that he thought dating with a companion would help avoid temptation. I can't even imagine a guy bringing a chaperone to a date. I'd peace out on the spot if someone tried that with me. It's like, I promise you aren't going to need a chaperone. There's no chance of this going anywhere.
That unlocked some trauma for me.
Oh, no.
That I had blocked out.
Oh, no.
I did this.
You did?
Not after I came home from my mission. It was right before I was able to drive. My older brother had a driver's license and he went on a date with me.
He was your chaperone?
Yeah.
Cringe.
Talk about cringe.
And you hadn't even gone on your mission yet.
No, I think maybe it was at the point where I could drive. I just wasn't allowed to drive other people yet.
I can't think of a worse
Dude,
experience.
is that like cringe or what?
Yes.
Also, dessert. It was frozen yogurt.
Oh, God.
Honestly, just a bad.
Need to apologize to whoever that was.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Anyway, thank you for unlocking that little memory for me.
Trauma.
Also, okay, so let's explain the mission broke thing. A lot of people take their mission so seriously that when they no longer have a companion, which you're required to be with at all times, except for in the bathroom, and even with some mission rules, it's very like you need to be in the bathroom for only 5 minutes at a time or something like that. So you're never alone by yourself, you know.
No fun times in the bathroom.
No.
So you're with this person 24/7.
Yeah. You're with this person all the time. And it gets to the point where some people become dependent on having another person there all the time, that when they come home, they have a period where they have to readjust to doing things by themselves. So that's what they call mission broke. And there's also like, they'll not watch TV or something like that. They'll just basically continue in the mindset of being a missionary, but they'll be home. So that's kind of a niche thing that we haven't really addressed yet. So
no, we haven't talked about that. It's kind of a little bit representative of the trauma associated with that, because it's literally banged into your head that this is how you live your life, and you do it
when
for
you
2
go
years,
from
and then you're just expected
such a
to change.
controlling environment to like absolute freedom. It can be a total.
They can't
shock to the
handle
system.
it. Like it's like that's a total.
Yeah.
How do you break that habit after doing it for 2 years? So this makes a lot of sense in that aspect, but it's sad, but it's also funny.
Yeah. I must not have been a very good missionary because I did not experience that at all. I was so ready to be by myself again. Next one. What is this, 5?
I don't know, but this
Sure.
one was a favorite.
Okay.
A few days before Halloween, a girl invited me over to her apartment to carve pumpkins. I can do a dope ghost face killer. So I was excited to show that off, but instead I was handed a stack of stencils by her roommates to choose from. Joseph Smith, Brigham Young,
No
Hinckley,
way.
the F. I opted for the Tabernacle, which is a building here in Salt Lake.
I'll put a picture up.
And did my damnedest to make it look like a row of penises. They had to have known, but nobody said anything. Were they really going to display 4 brightly lit pumpkin phalluses? So they said, hey, username, here's a candle. Go put your pumpkin on the porch. My conscience hit and I dropped my blank lantern on the way out. There was apple crisp, though, so the evening wasn't a total loss. Now, that was a good one.
Dude, you have to do an approved stencil on your pumpkin for me.
Like, I could, no, I can't think of anything that would be Mormon appropriate on a pumpkin, but Joseph Smith, Brigham Young, are you serious?
Yeah.
This is top tier cringe right here. No.
Guys, I am trying my hardest when people, I may be a quote unquote anti-Mormon, but I try my fucking hardest when people are like, Mormons worship Joseph Smith, and you're not helping right now.
Putting him on a pumpkin,
Putting
you guys.
a pumpkin? Come on, dude. A predator pumpkin.
Predator pumpkin. That's a good one.
Come on.
Okay, next. This is funny because this is something that I would do and did. I went with a guy to the cemetery in Salt Lake City, and he showed me where all the past prophets' headstones were.
Jordan would do that, honestly.
I would do that.
She did take me to the Salt Lake Cemetery when I would come down for the weekend from Idaho when we were dating. And
That's true.
That's where she has a relative that is interred there, so...
I am a big genealogy person, and so the dead fascinate me. So I spent a lot of time in cemeteries as a early 20-year-old. So
yeah, and I thought it was kind of metal, so I was down with it.
Past prophet headstones, there are quite a few prophets who are buried in Salt Lake City. I don't know which ones aren't. There are more who are than aren't.
I would say most of them are.
I don't know if there are any that aren't. But there are quite a lot of them, and they have some pretty fancy headstones. You'll have to throw up some pictures of the headstones. They're pretty intense. Notably, when the last prophet died, we actually went to his headstone and gave him flowers. Embarrassing.
Yeah.
Okay. So Jane Manning, it's not Jones, it's James. She was not a prophet. I'm going to read to you the bio for her on Wikipedia because it's going to summarize it better in a more concise way than I could have. So Jane Elizabeth Manning James, fondly known as Aunt Jane, was one of the first recorded African-American women to enter Utah. She was a member of the Mormon Church and lived with Joseph Smith and his family for a time in Nauvoo, Illinois. She traveled with her husband to Utah, spending the winter of 1846 through 47 at winter quarters. She petitioned the first presidency to be endowed and sealed.
Which was not allowed at the time.
Which was not allowed. As a result of her request, she was adopted as a servant into the Joseph Smith family through a specially created temple ceremony. Now, a lot of people get confused because they'll be like, this person was sealed to Joseph Smith, and it'll be like some type of confusion with being a wife. That's not what this was.
She was not posthumously sealed as a wife.
She was sealed to Joseph Smith as a servant. So, which is, it speaks for itself, okay? Not satisfied to be an eternal servant in the Smith family, she continued to petition to receive her own temple endowment, but was denied these rights during her lifetime. She was posthumously endowed by proxy in 1979.
So, that's... do with that as you will, but yeah, here's a
tidbit of Mormon history for you.
Here's a badass black pioneer woman. So Hats off to you, Jane Elizabeth Manning James.
Kick Joseph Smith in the nuts. Okay, on to more cringe. I got set up on a blind date back when I lived in Provo. He was a major loser and super nerdy, which is kind of rude, but I'll roll with it. He took me to Olive Garden, which was packed, and to pass the time while we waited for a table, we played patty cake.
What?
These are adults. It was so awkward and embarrassing. When we finally got a table, our waitress was an old Italian lady with a thick accent. He went into missionary mode and asked if she was Mormon and whatnot. Since she wasn't, he asked if he could sing her a song. She awkwardly said yes, so he went on to sing her I Am a Child of God. Which, for non-Mormons, that is a primary song. That is a song that's taught to children. That is a child song. When he finally finished, she smiled and left. We didn't see each other. We didn't see much of her after that. I don't blame her. It was just so awkward and weird. Some people are just so clueless. The level of cringe during this date, I don't know how I would have sat there. The secondhand embarrassment that I feel right now is like palpable.
I'm sorry to this person. That is absolutely... I'm sorry anybody would have to endure cringe like that.
Let's play patty cake. What are we? First graders?
What does that do? What is the goal of playing patty cake?
My previous first graders probably wouldn't have even done that.
Oh my God. Who does that anymore?
That is bad.
Like, at least share memes back and forth or something. Like
cringe level 1,000.
That is some major cringe.
Okay.
I don't know what number we're on, but
I don't either.
We're rolling with it still.
But this was a ride. You are not prepared for where this is going to go. I heard this one from a Mormon gal in northern Utah. She did online dating in Utah on Mormon-themed dating sites. She was highly educated, had a very professional job. On her first date with an online Mormon guy she met, he came to her place to pick her up. He said he had to use the bathroom, and then he made a move on her when he got inside. She said no, and he started crying and confessed that he had a raging porn and masturbation problem.
What?
First of all, dude, you just walked into my house. Like, what are you doing? Like, this is a lot. This is the first time they had ever met in person. She felt bad for him and hung out with him for a few weeks as a friend. She was trying to help him and his problem. A few weeks later, he is at her house late playing board games with her and her brother. The brother leaves and this guy tries to make another move. She shuts him down again. The next day, he sends her a text message with a picture of a scantily dressed athletic woman with this gal's face cropped on the body. His message for her was, look at how beautiful you could be if you lost some weight.
Oh my God. This was just nothing
You couldn't make this up.
I could not even predict where the next sentence was going.
This was such a ride.
What?
And none of it is connected. Like, it is all just like a soup of disaster.
It is. It is. Oh my.
I don't even know how to deal with that.
It's the unsolicited advances.
First of all.
That are backed up by, I have a porn and masturbation problem.
On a first date, dude. Come on.
It goes deeper than that, dog.
That's not a pertinent information on a date.
And then after he cheers up, does the same thing again, and then gets mad and is a misogynist. So this
I was not prepared for this one.
Is it off-brand? Not really, but
not really. That's the unfortunate part about all of this.
Oh my God, yeah. These are people who proclaim to be so happy and everything. And, we go to church. You don't have to be perfect, but you go to church to, it's the hospital for the sinners and everything. And they're trying their best. And this is the kind of shit that they
These are the people that think they belong to the one and only true church on the earth. So just let that sink in for a moment.
Nothing. And I have to admit that it is probably exacerbated by the church. It's made worse, this porn and masturbation issue.
For sure.
So I will posit that maybe some things are instilled in this person, but the misogyny is not. I'm not going to excuse that at all. There's no excuse.
No way, man. Cringe level
Next,
1,000.
Yeah, that's bad. Back to
This
Provo
one
Girls.
just made me laugh. Do you have any raisins? I don't. Sad face. Then how about a date? I hate dates. As in I take you out on a date, not dried fruits. Oh my god. Oh, whoosh. It just really went right over her head.
I will not be coming back. This is my final goodbye.
Oh, Provo girls, friend, girlfriend, why? Girl, why would he be asking you about raisins? Come on.
Maybe he was looking to put them in a casserole. I don't know.
A raisin casserole?
Dude, I don't know. I've seen some disgusting things on the internet in my days.
Oh, God.
People put foods together that should not.
Don't tell me there's a Mormon raisin casserole somewhere.
There could be. Who knows?
Disgusting.
In all the books of Relief Society gathered recipes,
Maybe.
there's
That's
probably
fair.
something like that out there.
That's fair.
This is also one of the reasons why I'm so grateful that I got married very young and easily, because I don't think I could handle that level of cringe in order to get a date with somebody.
So good.
I don't know if I could dole it out like that and still have any self-respect.
It's fair.
Shouts out to anybody who does that, but I'm just already a really cringy person. I don't think I need to magnify it in any capacity.
Okay. Back when I was going on dates in Provo circa 2010, a dude I had just met said in this super smooth manner, I want to take you to my favorite place. It ended up being hot chocolate at 7-Eleven. Followed by us sitting on the steps at the Provo Library so he could list all of the countries he'd visited and loudly proclaim his surprise that I had traveled as widely as he had. Eye roll emoji.
Were the places that he had visited just very run of the mill, or
His mission.
Oh,
That's what I assume. I've been out of the country, but it was on my mission, so
yeah.
I'm well traveled.
I'm like, yeah, I have visited, count them, 3 different countries. 4 if you count the time that I went 5 feet into Nicaragua.
Snap.
But yeah, 3 of those were on my mission, and one of them was I went to Canada to see the Cardston, Alberta temple. So
There you have
all
it.
of them related to Mormonism.
Let me tell you how common, though, this is within Mormonism. Like, they're sitting on the steps at the Provo Library. Mormons going on dates to just sit at, like, Mormon institutions is, like, a very common thing.
Yeah,
Like, we would get food and go eat dinner outside of the temple.
we had a bench. Literally, we would go and we were like, "This is going to be our bench forever." And thank fucking God that is not going to be the case.
They bulldozed it
Yeah,
now, so it's gone
now,
anyway.
So thank God that they probably
That's not representative of our
literally
lives.
got rid of it for our sakes.
But that's the thing, is it's such a common thing. Like, it's not that we were even like going into the temple. Like, we would get dinner,
No.
take it to go, and sit in our car up in the parking lot and stare at the temple. This is how weird
Yeah.
this shit is, you guys. It's weird.
Yeah.
Like, I could see doing it in like some grand building, like if you're like sitting outside like the Taj Mahal, or like
Even like Union Station in downtown Salt Lake or downtown Denver even
is better.
is way better. But it doesn't even have to
Weird.
be that grandiose. Just outside of institutions.
The
is-
Provo Library. That shit's
kind of odd.
ugly. I've been there.
Have you?
Yes. I mean, I think the Provo Temple is ugly too, but
It is. They're redoing it probably for that reason.
it's ugly.
This
Anyway.
yeah. Also, I wanted to make it a point. It is like, okay, so Mormons, because of the word of wisdom, they don't drink coffee or tea or alcohol, right? So when those things can't be incorporated into a date, which I feel, and I mean, I didn't go on a lot of secular dates or anything like that as an adult. Not a single one as an adult. I feel like that it kind of eliminates a lot of options. So the fallback for Mormons on dating ideas usually involves like a dessert of some sort, or
Crumble.
Yeah, seriously, or
Cookies.
soda, basically. So like,
there's like a million soda shops here.
let's go get gourmet hot chocolate. Like you wouldn't really, you'd have to search for stuff like that outside of Utah. They have this place like crumble cookies. There's a million different places where they have dessert specific things to fill that void of people are trying to go on dates at trendy places and they can't have anything to do with alcohol because it just doesn't sell, or coffee, things like that.
And some Mormons are more rigid about it than others. Like there are some Mormons that won't even go to restaurants that serve alcohol. And that's like pretty extreme.
Whoa, that is pretty extreme.
That's pretty
I don't
extreme.
think I've ever met anybody like that.
There was a guy in my YSA ward that was like that.
Oh my God, where does he
Which
go?
it's easier in Utah because a lot of restaurants do not serve alcohol in Utah, which is kind of weird. But it's true. Like
They have to be licensed as a bar.
Some of our favorite Mexican restaurants that we've been to don't serve alcohol.
Yep.
Which is always super weird when non-Mormons come to visit. They're like, wait, you don't have alcohol?
If you are ever just passing through Utah, just a couple things to know if you're trying to have a good time. Bars, there are a bunch down in Salt Lake City, but outside of there is going to be a lot harder to find.
I'm going to find some dive bars, but...
Yeah. The all alcohol in the state is regulated by the state. So if you're trying to get something on a Sunday, you can't.
Nope. State liquor stores closed on Sunday. There is a very limited amount of alcohol available in grocery stores. It has to be below a certain alcohol content. There's actually a bill in the Utah State Legislature right now that's trying to ban seltzers from stores.
Really?
So like White Claw and whatnot.
It'll
probably pass because it's Utah.
It probably will, honestly. So
fun facts about Utah.
Quirky things about Utah and alcohol and things like that. So it just bleeds over into the date culture and things like that. So going to 7-Eleven for hot chocolate is like, you may think, wow, that's pretty cringe or weird and things like that, but it's pretty run of the mill. 7-Eleven is a weird, 7-Eleven's is a bit of an odd choice, but I have heard good things about their hot chocolate. So let it vibe, I guess.
Let it vibe. Next.
Sorry, we kind of got derailed on that one.
At BYU, I went to a board game cafe with this boy. He carried 4 knives on him at all times.
Oh my God.
Red flag number 1, which I tried to pass off as quirky, but kind of creeped me out. Anyway, after lunch, we were sitting in the lobby of my dorm, and he tells me about how he feels that one day he's going to have to kill someone to protect his family. Big red warning sign going off in my head, but I just politely nod and listen. Apparently no one else had responded that way because he took my quiet listening as empathy and understanding and said that I understood him like no one else did and that it was a really good date.
Oh my God.
I just didn't want to aggravate a dude who talked about killing and had 4 weapons on him. This is not inherently Mormon, but this is weird behavior.
Is cringe.
At BYU. This dude's just hauling around 4 knives at a time. Like, why do you need 4?
Yeah.
Is it like Dwight from The Office where he's like has one in like every
little nook and cranny?
Yeah.
Has them like hidden around, like one under his bed and stuff like that.
Why?
I feel like we've all known a person like that.
A weirdo like this that kind of gives off some red flag
weird
energy.
Vibes. Yeah, I feel like this also we kind of talked about the food storage thing last time, but they had to expressly start saying that they discouraged extreme prepping because it kind of lends to behaviors like this where people always have weapons on them. They stockpile like guns and ammo and things like that. So this kind of gives that vibe
I'm gonna have
off
to
to
kill
me.
someone
Like,
to protect my family.
I've got a year worth of food storage and I have enough guns and ammo to kill the entire world over. Like, okay, dog.
Cringe. Okay, next.
How many times have we said cringe? If anybody was counting because you got annoyed
Don't
by
drink
it,
if you're drinking that
throw
word.
it in the comments. Hello, this is McKay from editing, and I have counted a total of 19 times thus far. So let me know if I'm right.
Once had a guy tell me he wished polygamy was still allowed in the church because he wanted me to be his second wife. Yep, you read that right. Not that he wanted to be able to marry me and someone else, but that he wanted to marry someone else before me and then marry me. Thanks.
This man really said, wow, you really have second wife energy.
Honestly.
Not first wife.
This is a thing, like in polygamy. Like all of those of you who watch Sister Wives, I used to be a diehard Sister Wives fan. I haven't watched it in a long time. But I'm pretty sure it was Christine who was like, I've always wanted to be the third wife. And her reasoning for wanting to be the third wife is because there's always contention between the first two. And so by the time the third one comes in, the two have to figure out what the is going on with their whole lifestyle. And so then Christine can come in at the end and be like, all right, y'all have figured it out. I'm just going to nicely enter the scene.
Yeah.
Fun fact, Christine has actually divorced Cody and is out living her life right now.
It's all fun and games to be the third wife until Robin comes in and fucks it all.
Fucking sobbing. I hate her.
I've seen enough to know that I do not really
if you've never watched Sister Wives, I really wish we could do reactions to Sister Wives.
We can on our Patreon.
Oh, that's true. It is the most cringe effing thing, you guys. I know we're very tangential today, but Sister Wives is primo. And obviously Sister Wives is a little bit different because yes, they are Mormon, but they don't consider themselves fundamentalists. They just consider themselves mainstream Mormons who practice polygamy in a consensual fashion. So it's not child brides and, Cody marrying 12-year-olds. They do consensually participate.
Still has that
it's still
tinge of religiosity, which makes me uncomfortable. But
definitely.
So, yes, we do approve of polyamorous relationships and things where people are consenting, but there is the power dynamic and patriarchy component when religion is involved. That's true. Makes us uncomfortable. So,
anywho,
that was the last one we had, actually, so I was okay going on a tangent.
Good. We did less than usual.
I know.
I'm kind of proud of us, to be honest.
Honestly, with how many long-ass episodes we've been doing lately, I was like, we could probably just keep it on the down low, keep it light. This was nice because I feel like we've been doing a lot of heavy shit lately where it just is aggravating and annoying. So to be able to go through some of the aspects and these terrible stories, I'm very... It's sad that people have to be able to tell these stories, but it is kind of... What's the word I'm looking for? Cathartic to know that I'm not the only one who has experienced Mormon dating cringe.
It's so cringe.
Cringe. Okay, we got it out of our system, so you'll never have to hear that word from us again.
So we hope you enjoyed these awful dating Mormon horror stories.
I think there was a nice little more objective element to hearing the ex-Mormon dating stories where people... There's a lot more meat and potatoes, I feel like, when you get to talk about how, wow, it's really gross that there was prophets to be carved into pumpkins.
It's true. That was probably one of the worst things I've ever heard. Carving prophets on pumpkins. I no, just stop. BYU has to stop perpetuating this shit. That's like an acceptable youth BYU. Activity. Like, no.
BYU is unhinged and somebody needs to rein it in.
Seriously.
This is bad. So thank you, everybody, for sticking around if you have stuck around this long. It has been a pleasure to be sharing these things with you and with Jordan. It was fun. Don't you think?
So fun.
So if you made it this far and you haven't subscribed yet, and that's something that interests you, you can hit the subscribe button down below. If you're just listening, you can also do that. You can download our podcasts or whatever. Both of those things help us out, and we appreciate it greatly. We also have the Patreon. I already shouted it out a little bit before, but I'm going to shout it out again as our names go rolling up the side of the screen. We freaking love our patrons, and so many people have been joining and have been choosing to support us. So I honestly don't know how to express our gratitude enough because they are amazing and perfect. If you wanted to do a exclusive Outer Darkness tier patron call with us. We do those at the start of every month for our top tier patrons. I think we kind of want to play a game this time around.
We're going to do like some kind of game.
But yeah.
If that sounds interesting to you, if you would like to talk to us and interact with us in a Zoom fashion, if that sounds appealing to you, you can join our top tier on Patreon, and the link to that is in our description.
Yeah. Other than that, we do have, you can message us preferably on Discord. Hit us up in the Discord. The invite is in the subscription or the description box down below. Easiest way to get in contact with me, because Jordan gets swamped with Instagram messages, which is great, but a lot of times it's just
all of them.
Responses to the story and things like that. So if you want to get in contact with us, just find us. I'm at McKay in Outer Darkness, and Jordan is Jordan Wolfie Queen on the Discord server. Easy way to get in contact with us if you're not a part of the Patreon.
Follow us on Instagram, because we're almost at 7,000 on Instagram.
Yes, everybody follow us on Instagram. We're really close to 7,000. And TikTok, you can find us at Jordan and McKay. As always, it's always going to be like that. So that does it for today. Happy Valentine's Day to you all, and we will see you next time.